on mine too, right?
You're doing everything. I'm just sitting here waiting.
What's up? What's up? What's up? We're live, I think. It says live.
I didn't even know we were live.
What's going good, everybody? Sorry, we are so, or I should say, I didn't realize that I was in charge of the programming tonight. So my apologies. So if I don't, I'm trying to see comments. Like, look, I don't even have the words up yet. Ooh, boom, there it is. Look at that. Ray's got the magic touch. How is everybody doing tonight? We did. I'm so unprepared.
What'd you say?
I have my volume all the way up. Are you sharing it? I don't have to share it because it's on my page.
I'm sharing it right now.
I don't have to because it's on my page, right?
Right, you don't have to. I'm sharing it into the groups and stuff like that.
I thought we were going to try to do Instagram again.
Well, since the other day you scolded me so much for doing Instagram, I decided not to.
No, I didn't scold you. I said we should have practiced beforehand so we knew what we were doing because we look like amateurs and we have to be pros.
We have to be pros. All right.
Victor's making fun of us.
He is. Let me see.
He says.
I don't know why I can't see anything. And Victor, that ain't cool to be making fun of us.
He's just saying we crack him up. I did, man. I've lost 8 pounds, bro, in the last like 8 days, man.
Didn't Victor get married?
Yes, he did. And
congratulations.
My man Victor got married to Brandy, so they're married now.
Because I'm snooping all the time everywhere.
Yeah, look, and then
it's like second nature to be nosy.
Well, you got to be careful who you tell that to because
nosy, but just find out stuff. That's it.
Some people don't like being spied on.
Well, I'm just being real.
Is that why you sent me that camera?
I'm laughing, but I did not send you a camera. It was a microphone. I told you to buy that microphone.
I'm just kidding. So anyways, what's up, guys? How we doing on this woke Wednesday, this wonderful Wednesday, this absolute Wednesday grind? This is the middle of the week. I always say we don't call this hump day. We call this grind day because this is the time we put the head down and we start plowing forward. So I hope you guys had a blessed day today. My name is Raymond Wright. I am the founder of Right Way Leadership Transformational Coaching. I am your motivator, inspirator, but most importantly, of course, you already know I'm your transformator. And this year, we want to focus on growth. We want to focus on the journey. We want to focus on accomplishing what we set out. And to my side, like we're on different sides this time. So I feel like weird.
Let's touch fingers.
To my side is Mrs. Queen Sarai herself. She can introduce herself. Actually, she needs no introduction. Everybody knows who she is. She's the red shot. I was gonna try to do like commentary, like the radio show. She is the red shot.
I'm not even red. I'm purple. Like I don't know why my hair looks red, but it's actually purple.
It kind of
it depends on what lighting. In the sun, you'll see a real purple.
Is that how you introduce yourself? I'm purple.
All right, I'll introduce myself. Hello, everybody. I am Sarai Namour. I should just start saying Sarai Namour. I am a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. And if you're in my group, it's Circle of Champions Worldwide. And I'm passionate about finding people who are, I'm just making up stuff as we go here. Finding people who
listen. You already said you like stalking people, so you like stalking them and finding them.
Look, that's how I found him. I found him by stalking. What was I stalking? Eric Thomas, motivational group something, and I just heard Ray talking, and I was like, "Hey, you should be in my group." Sounds like you fit in perfectly with us champions over here, and that's how we met. But we
are champions, ain't we? Champions.
We're champions. I can't even see who's on here. Why doesn't everyone say hi?
Listen, well, I can't. Can you see it on Facebook? So I can see Brother Victor and I can see you.
I can't really see anyone. But let's just keep going because I see that there's people on there. I just can't see who it is.
Oh, look, it's all good. But so
Yeah,
tonight's
let's keep going.
topic, huh?
Let's just go. Oh yeah, I only see us. Let's just go. Say hi,
I'm
people. Say hi to us tonight.
I'm trying to rock. Like, if you guys want to, what? Hey, Crystal's boss lady's in the house. Look, if you go ahead, like, share this out, get this out to somebody, because we have no idea what we're talking about tonight, and somebody might need to hear that, because that's a lot of times when the best information comes.
That's not true. I know what I'm talking about tonight.
Listen, don't let her fool you.
All right, so I'm gonna start. This is what we're talking about tonight. I was on Clubhouse last night, and we started talking about something, and then I ended up talking about living life on the offense or
hold on. We were talking about something, and something came out of something, and next thing you know, we were talking about something.
Let me just go with it. I just saw 555 on the thing, so I wonder what that means for any numerologist people out there, because I've been seeing a lot of threes numbers. But anyway, so I was talking something about being living life on the offense or the defense, right? So sometimes we get, Carrie was on there too, so maybe Carrie might remember, but I feel like living on the defense is like when we're dodging stuff and we're avoiding situations or we're fighting against life. And I think living life in that way is very, very, it's a struggle. It's like living defense is like the struggle. And Raymond says that sometimes you got to live offense and defense, and I agree. I think I'm just striving more towards living on the offense, which is going for the wins. So why are you laughing?
Crystal, boss lady put 666.
You're so silly, Crystal. That was actually hilarious.
That's what she said. She said LOL had to.
I like how her brain works. That was hilarious. You made me crack up. But anyway, I want us to go to make this year about going for the wins. And that's what I meant about offense. And I know sometimes, we got to be a little bit defensive. Like, I'm already like in a stance to be defensive. Sometimes we got to do those, the blocking and the punching back and all of that. But for the most part, I want us to be the creators of our life. And I want us to create a life where we're going for the wins as opposed to avoiding the losses. So that's what I meant by this today, because I couldn't put it together right before we started this. I couldn't put my thoughts together, but I just did because of Crystal making me laugh. But guys, think about that. Like, how can you personally go for the wins instead of dodging the losses, or instead of dodging the pains, or instead of dodging like the things that are going to come at us regardless? There's just stuff that's going to come at us regardless, because guys, that's just how life is. None of us could avoid pain. None of us could avoid bad things from happening. Things are going to surprise us. Every year there's going to be, a little surprise happening, where it could be a little surprise, but sometimes there's like big bomb surprise happening, and big, like last year was a big things happening. None of us expected COVID and all of that. But I think for the most part, we all like dealt with it really well, man. I think we all dealt with COVID pretty well. And I think we still are dealing with it pretty well. But think about, how is it that you could live life like going for the wins? And I don't want us to lose momentum on what we started. Because like I wrote it on the write-up right to promote this, I wrote, we're about 2 to 3 weeks away from the moment where normally most of us give up and forget about all of the things that we wanted, right? The things, our goals, our New Year's resolutions and all of that. But I want Raymond and I are committed to helping you keep up your momentum on a weekly basis as we show up here for you. We're here to help you keep up your momentum, keep up with your goals, keep going towards that whatever carrot is dangling in front of you. Keep going for that. So Raymond, are you as committed as I am, or are you like not as committed? Because I'm committed to helping people reach their goals. I know you are too. I'm just kidding. That was the 666. That was the 666.
We don't talk. Don't. You can't be like when people tie in here. You can't be like you can't let them come in and hear you say that, because they'll jump right out. Especially they're gonna be like, I knew Raymond wasn't who he said he was. I knew who Raymond said he was. Look at it. See, we're dropping them like flies now. You done scared them away.
Just go. What? So how do you see defense?
Oh, is it my turn?
I talked a lot right now for 5 minutes straight without breathing.
I think you had an energy drink before you started.
And I also talked there. So here we go. Come on.
All right. So what am I talking about? I forgot.
So you told me earlier when I told you, hey, let's talk about living life on the offense or the defense. You said sometimes you got to live both. You got to live offense and defense. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because I think if you're all defense, then or I think if you're there's a difference when I say defense, right? So I believe one thing my mentor used to teach me is you got to have, especially in finance, you got to have offense, you got to be on defense, and you got to know the playing field, right? So when we go on offense, when we talk about going on offense, right? It's all in. There's that saying, we got to go all in, right? We got to if you're gambling, right? Sometimes when you go on offense, you got to go all in, and you got to believe, you got to have the belief by taking the actions that you know what you're going all in is going to happen. But at the same time, we also got to be in the defensive mode because life is going to throw things at you. And if you're just going full heads of bar, you're going to leave body parts and people everywhere. You're going to break relationships. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be so laser focused. So I do believe that we have to have some resolve with us too when we're moving. But I think the most important part is in the middle of offense and defense, and it's the playing field. I think we have to know where we're going. Because if you just say, I'm just, like if you just go all in on something, but you don't know what you're going all in, you don't know the results you're looking for, you don't have the goals in front of you, you don't have the why marked down, you don't have the strategic plan of action in place, and if you don't know, then you could really end up like if you're just all offense, right? That can lead people in a worse position than when they started. That's why you got to be very strategic and you got to play both sides and you got to know, like, I believe all offense, I believe defense is self-care. I believe defense is meditation. I believe defense is a prayer, right? So I think if we're, that's what I like. That's why I think, offense is great when we're trying to, we're trying to establish ourselves, right? Sarai's got an event coming up. Like when you want to speak at events, you want to give it everything you got to freaking go for it. You got to promote it. You got to do this, you got to do that. But at the same time, if I get to that event and I'm exhausted because I didn't take time taking care of myself, I wasn't in meditation. I wasn't doing self-care. I wasn't going to the gym. I wasn't walking. I wasn't eating right. Then really.
You're trying, like, hold up. What just happened? I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm just saying. Then what's it like? If you see really wealthy people, but they're fat and overweight, right? And they can't really enjoy their physical activities. No. Is like really like I know you could buy things, but at the same time, if you have to lift your gut up, you know what I mean? To sit in a plane or something, is it really worth it?
And I love what you said. I love what you said right now. Like, because when we
always love what I say.
I do. So I mean, no. Wait. Let me take that back. Sometimes you make me mad. So it's not, I don't always love it. Sometimes you just fight me and then I'm like,
I love the way you said, I do.
But when like, I love what you said right now, which is because I was trying to think about when you said earlier, well, I think we got to live both. I think you started arguing with me and you were like, I think we got to live both. We got to live offense and defense. And I was like, whatever. But now you made such a good point. You said defense is the self-care.
A good point.
Defense is self-care. So that is true. Defense is self-care. Defense is, eating correctly. And I mean, that could also be a little bit offense, but yes, it is defense to do that. Like, it's almost like well,
I'm talking about the self-care part of it.
Yeah, it's true. And it's so true.
Yeah. And I've been listening to so many different people. Like, of course, I'm going to talk about Clubhouse, right? So, and if you guys ain't on Clubhouse, you're missing out, right? I spent, I think 98 hours the first week on it. So don't judge me. I was testing it out. I was making sure it was good for you guys.
Guys, I couldn't even contact him. Like I couldn't even speak to him. Like you know, I don't know about Crystal, but I couldn't reach him for like a week.
No, Crystal couldn't either because
And if
Crystal
I find out that Crystal was able to reach you, I'm gonna be mad.
No, she sent me a message too because I was MIA. But I've built tremendous relationships already, and I've already got FOMO. I've already got the fear of missing out because we're in a message group and they're all like talking about the rooms they're in right now, and I'm like, right? But you know, self-discipline. But
don't look over there. Stay looking over here because I know your phone is going off.
What I hear, this is the great thing. So I get in these rooms, right? I don't always follow the most successful people, right? We know Grant Cardone. We know Damon Johns. We know all the men that they've got there because you got to have self-discipline. You don't get those type of results without defense, without self-discipline in yourself. And I believe that's defense too. Offense sometimes is like you go out there, you're making your plans, you're making the deals, you're making the money, you're flipping it, you're investing it, you're coming back, you're coaching, you're teaching, you're leading, you're doing all this, right? And then the other side of it, like I said before, is I hear the morning routines of these successful people. I hear what they do every morning. I hear how strategic they are in self-care. I hear how strategic they are with how important their morning is, with how important that it is for them to stay in their word, in meditation, in yoga, and doing the things, eating breakfast with their family, but you hear all the different morning routines, and none of it has to do with waking up and going after it, getting on the phone, getting on the emails, getting on this. It all has to do with really sitting with themselves, understanding what the day looks like, strategically planning in their mind, seeing everything. That's one thing that I lack, right? I lack like that like every morning. So that's one of the things where 2021 for me is about alignment.
Before you used to do
I
it
did, but I think what happened was I didn't do a Facebook Live this morning because actually I was crying. So I really wasn't prepared to do a Facebook Live video.
Is that true?
Yes. I listened to the song this morning and I've never, and it was a hip hop song. It was a hip hop song and it freaking hit me like I've never been hit before. And I mean, I had an hour drive this morning and I think I freaking was tearing the whole drive. The whole drive.
You know
like
what
it was what?
That movie with where the two guys are on the bike and they're freezing driving and their boogers are frozen hanging like because I You just keep I know it's cold where you live and you're crying when
I was in a car.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just sounded so insensitive. You're talking about crying and all this, and I'm just like,
but it wasn't. It was. You should be upset because you made me broke my train of thought.
It was funny though. That's what I imagined. I totally imagined that.
Listen, what I'm saying is the one thing is I did used to have a phenomenal morning routine, right? I had a phenomenal morning routine. 2020 was probably one of my best years with really moving forward on what I wanted. But I think I moved forward with a lot of confusion and a lot of chaos in my mind. Where I should go, who I should go, what I should do, why I should do it. When really, I got back being on Clubhouse made me realize what the whole purpose was. And that was to serve the people God puts in front of me at all cost. And how can I do it the best? And I was listening to you and Billy Alsbrooks earlier talking about passion, right? But I agree with the passion so much. But I also understand this. A lot of things that I'm passionate about is not going to serve people at a bigger calling, right? That's the purpose that God put in me. So I'm starting to learn. I listen to a billionaire, right? This guy's a billionaire. You wouldn't even know it. And he's a country guy, like his voice, like he sounds literally like he was getting ready to play a guitar and sing me a song. But he was saying this in his country voice. I wish I could do a country voice. But so listen. That was Irish country. But listen, this is what he was saying. Listen to what he was saying. His passion was horses. He loved just the horse industry, everything. And he said, I had to give up on my passion for 14 years to pursue the purpose that God put in me so I could build my legacy and I could build my wealth. So now, 14 years later, for the first time, he's back on horses. Are you guys willing to give up your passion? Are you willing to give up the things that you love? Because sometimes your passion isn't going to move people. Sometimes what I'm passionate about, right? Some people are passionate, about like things that's not going to make them money. So if the passion you have is not going to be profitable, sometimes you have to move in purpose, right? That way your purpose is serving others, so your purpose can provide back for your passion. So that's the one thing that I was learning. And we talked about that before, but when I was listening to this guy, he's a billionaire, a freaking billionaire. And he talked about the things, even as he started to accumulate wealth, he knew that there was still work to be done before he could start enjoying his passions again.
So
and I think that is,
I think the trick is, and not everyone could do this, but I think the trick is, if you're able to serve your purpose with passion, with your passion, if you're able to do both of those things. And it's so funny that you said that, because I just finished watching a movie a week ago with my kids, and even my older kid Brandon said he was tearing up and everything. And the movie's called Soul, like SOU.
Yeah, I watched pieces of it.
It was all about this, and it was all about like, your passion isn't your purpose, because your purpose is more like your gift. So I mean, I shouldn't talk about the movie because I'm going to do a spoiler thing, so I wouldn't do that. But that's
okay. It's our show.
Your purpose has more to do with your gift than your passion, and sometimes those two things could get married, but not always. Yeah. The trick is trying to find a way to marry those things. So, like, for example, me, my how would you say it is for me? Because it gets so, when I put it towards myself, I get really confused.
You went out and got a degree, right? Serving, helping people, because the purpose.
That's the vehicle I use.
But you got to let me finish.
But I don't want to. I'll keep it. Not go. Okay, go. All right, go.
But there was purpose, because the purpose is you wanted to be able to save and help orphan children or children that were displaced, right?
Foster care.
So, right, foster care, right? So that's what really got you started in the process, because of your past, right? Well, God wraps our purpose in our pains and our past. That's what God wraps our purpose on. Usually the thing that frustrates and hurts us and that we avoid the most is the thing that God's wrapped in a gift. That's the gift that we have to serve, right? But see, your passion is also people. You're passionate about helping and serving people. So what you realized is, I love I love helping people, in counseling them and helping them. But what I really like to help people do is the positive mindset. I like to not only help people get out from the gutter, but now I like to really be able to serve them. My passion is to get them moving in their gifts, get them moving in there. So you've been able to blend the two. You're a perfect example of being able to blend your passion and your purpose, but you did need the vehicle, right? You did need the vehicle for a while until you were able to listen. If we ain't making any money, it's not about the money, but if we ain't making any money, how are we really serving at a greater period? I tell Crystal all the time, right? Where we live, I tell her all the time, it's so much bigger than where we live. The problem is so many people look at their little communities, they look at their little cities, and they don't do anything to grow outside of it, right? They focus just on that. But when you grow up in these little cities, a lot of times the reason why people can't be successful is because the thinking has not grown like the world has grown. Everybody still lives, does, and proceeds the same way, right? They get comfortable, they get complacent. That's why I'm saying there are people all over the world that need Sarai. There's people all over the world that needs Courtney. There's people all over the world that need Sarah to write her book. There's people all over the world that needs Crystal to coach their business. There's people all over the world that needs you guys to develop yourselves, to put your passion, right, into your purpose. See, that's self-discipline. Self-discipline means, you know what? I just want to go fish. I know people whose passion is fishing, right? But you know what? If they want to fish their whole life, then they better go figure out what their purpose is so they can start to provide for their passion.
Yeah. So, and Courtney's out there too. Courtney's passion has to do with making people physically healthy, but then he has created a platform where you achieve total wellness, like in all areas of your life. You know, that whole thing gets confusing to me, and we sort of like got off track with the whole offense and defense. But I know that my purpose is to save lives. I think that's my purpose, but I wouldn't call that my passion. There's something that I'm passionate about that's mixed into that. But I know that my purpose, whether I want to or not, or whatever it is I have to get up every day and save lives somehow, like in some way, through some example, even like doing Thrive Talk. Thrive Talk is my way also. Another way, I shouldn't say my way, it's another way of saving lives, because so many people lose hope thinking that, oh, I went through this or that, I'm already broken, or I'm already, there's no salvation for me, or there's no whatever it is, But through Thrive Talk, I have brought like so many. I have to go back and count how many people I've interviewed over the last year and a half, but it's been definitely like 30 people, let's say. So those are 30 cases to prove you wrong. Those are 30 cases.
Why me wrong?
Your microphone, your microphone is messed up, but I meant prove you wrong out there, people. Actually, you're one of the cases, Raymond, because you did Thrive Talk and yours was awesome. Your Thrive Talk was like super, super awesome, but it's proof of, man, you think you had it bad? Let me show you. Hold up. Let me show you another case. This is Raymond. Let me show you Raymond's case, and he made it, and he's good. He's not on drugs. He's not doing this. He's not doing that, and so that's my way of showing you another case and another case and another case of how it is that you made it. Like, this is how I did it. And it cost you blood, sweat, and tears, didn't it? Like, to learn the things you needed to learn to get to where you're at.
I was crying today.
Yeah, but that's gold. That's where the gold is. That's what makes you such a great.
I did not see any gold in my car at all.
Listen, that's where the gold is. That's what makes you such a great coach, is that you have a way of doing things. You have some very particular things happen to you to give you those turning points. For example, one of them is you got close to God. Number 2 is you allowed someone to teach you something, because with that attitude that you used to have, and that guy tried you a couple of times when he asked you about, did you read the book? No. Okay, then let me give it to someone who really wants to learn. And you're like, wait, what? I'm about to hit you over the head for saying that, but you allowed someone that humbleness. That's another thing you did. You started reading books. Number 3, you started going to these seminars. Number 4, if you were to break down all the steps that it took for you to get to where you're at, that's how you serve others now, by teaching them those things. And what do you always do? Like, the number one thing that's
because I know, like, just like you, because I know that they can do it. I know that they can make it out. I know that they have a greater purpose, just like you. I mean, if I lived with the mentality that I probably would not be alive right now for my children, to be honest with you. But
you know what? And everything we've been through, guys, and I just feel like I have to say this for a moment. It just came to my mind, but like, everything we've been through as children, it's easy to sit there and blame our parents, but the truth is that they have their story. The truth is that they have their story. There's a reason why, they made the mistakes that they made. They also, a lot of, our parents made mistakes, but our parents also did some good things, right? And the mistakes that they made is because whatever it was, as bad as it was, I believe that they were doing the best they could, as bad as it was. Does that make sense? Like,
it does. We talked about this before, but if remember, I told you before, when I learned, my grandfather, died from alcoholism, right? My grandmother blew her brains out because of depression, and this was back in the 60s. This was even before I was born. You know what I mean? And so, but I don't know what their parents did, but obviously if it was that bad, there was trauma, there's trauma. That's why I said, I'm the one. I'm going to break the generational curse. I'm going to have to be the one. I can't leave it up to my children. Now, what I can do is say, I changed the direction. Now I've given my children potential and opportunity to lead themselves into the next generation legacy rather than destruction. And I'm not perfect by any means. I'm far from perfect. But by them seeing me as an example.
And an important way to make peace also is to be able to forgive, because I'll tell you right now, I'm a therapist. I've been a therapist for 20 something years. I think it's like 21 years. And you know, even though I'm all of that and I'm trauma informed and everything, God knows I have made plenty of mistakes, plenty of mistakes with my kids. And I'm just a way better mom to my 8-year-old than I was to my 24-year-old. Because why? Between that space, there was a lot of growth that happened. There was a lot of development. There was a lot of discovery, a lot of everything, right? So in order for me to be forgiven for whatever mistakes I've made, I also have to, because I could go back and go, man, I did this and this and this, but I did it because of this. We all have a reason. Yeah. And the reason isn't a justification to hurt, our kids or the people around us, but it is a reason. It is our truth. It is what we were going through. And in that struggle, we were doing our best. And you better believe that your parents were also doing their best. And I'm not talking about, there are those parents out there that are pure evil, but they're very few. And I know this for sure because I work at my agency works with foster kids, and I have heard some things that are just pure evil. Like, it's not a mistake. It's not a bad choice. It's just pure evil. And there are those pure evil type of things. And I'm not talking about that here. I'm talking about parents who make mistakes, even serious mistakes, and very bad choices that put us at risk of feeling abandoned, of actually being abandoned, of going through things that we should have never gone through. But a lot of those things are things that were done because they didn't have another way at the moment. And so I think there needs to be forgiveness in order for us to even live our life, and to release ourselves from the anger, the resentment, the pain, and for us to be able to grow and move above and beyond that. And I'm just really wondering what people think about that. I wonder what everyone's opinion is about that. And I always say our story didn't begin with our pain. That would be very narcissistic to think, well, it began with me and I'm the center of the earth. No, it began generations ago. It began with our great parents, whatever happens to our great grandparents, and then it just trickles down and trickles down and trickles down until one of us in this cycle decides to go, it ends with me. It stops with me. I'm not going to continue on with this. I'm not going to let this generational curse continue on like you have done. Well, I'm going to say we are attempting to do, because we have made everyone has made mistakes, with their children, and that's just part of.
Well, on this program itself, if you look at Crystal, you know what I mean? Crystal's done the same thing. If you look at Tracy, Coach Tracy took the trauma and the pain that she went through, and now she's showing people constantly, exercising, eating healthy, doing the right things, loving yourself. And then you got Courtney, what Courtney went through with his dad, he turned that into, really a servant attitude, a servant mentality. And it's not just the physical aspect. It's not just the eating right. It's the mental aspect. It's the emotional aspect, because it really does. All of it blends together. I mean, I know people who just work out all the time. Yeah, they're buff as heck, man, but they're still broken inside. So their physical form is phenomenal, but they're broken inside, right? And then I know people, that have a strong foundation inside. They have a good family, but they're overweight and they're unhealthy and they can't breathe good. And they're lazy in their physical activity. And then you got people who got a lot of money, but their relationships suck. So really, what's the word say? The word says, it's don't gain the world and lose your soul. You know what I mean? We really have to stay firm on a solid foundation, and we have to know what we want. This is when me and Sarai always talk about, why it's so important to write down what you want your weight to look like, What you want your exercise activity to look like, right? What do you want your finances to look like? What do you want your relationships to look like? Do you know how many women that I've worked with, right? And men too, but a lot of women that I work with, and they just don't want to be alone. They just want somebody. They want a man, and they say they want a godly man. Just because a man says he loves God doesn't mean he's a godly man. You'll find yourself chasing the same person over and over again because you're not saying what you want, right? Again, I heard Sarai and Billy talking about standards. You have to set a standard for yourself. You have to set a standard up here. And it doesn't matter how lonely you are, how frustrating it is, how angry you get. Your standard can't be decreased by somebody else. There's an old saying that says, don't lower your standards to please them. Raise your standards to elevate them. Right?
How many of us have done that? How many of us have lowered our standards to just fit in? To just fit in with whatever the circumstances are, whatever the thing is. Or maybe you're out there right now and you're lowered your standard to fit in with your spouse, to fit in at work, to fit in with your friends, to fit in with the group that you're with, whatever it is. Like, you know, that's so important. That's so important. But you know what? Standards has a lot to do with being very clear on what you want. If you're clear on what you want, if you're clear on what you want out of your body, if you're clear what you want out of your life, if you're clear on how you want to spend your time, if you're clear on what you want as far as relationships goes, friendship goes, whatever it is, the more clear you are, what you're really saying is that you're clear on your standard. And if what you truly want, you're not getting, that means that you're not really standing up to your standard. You're just being reactive. Like also, like in the talk with Billy, he said like H is for habits. Our habits determine so much. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the daily habits that you were talking about earlier, all that means is that we're living in reaction mode. We're reacting to the next thing that comes at us every single day. And I know what that feels like. I know you do too. Like,
don't you feel like that's what the world does? The world, the government, politics, everyone acts reactive. No one's proactive. Like right. if we had people in the government that were always thinking ahead, but that's leadership. Leadership is thinking ahead. And when something does happen, you know what they do? They take responsibility rather than letting the people get all panicked about it. But that's the opposite of what America does. America reacts and allows the people to freak out about it because there's no leadership. Right? With it's the same thing. The Bible says with lack of vision, the people perish. Well, with lack of leadership, the people will fall. Like people need to know where someone is going. Because sometimes because of the brokenness, right? And you could probably, when you're broken and you're trying to fix and you're trying to get better, you need somebody who's done what? They've already done it. They've already been there. They're a couple steps in front of you. They've read that couple of books before you. They can recommend those books. They can recommend who to go talk to. They can recommend. See, but that's what we need. We need people in leadership positions who serve the people by offering insight, by offering a better way of thinking and a better way of living. Not just react to this, react to that, react to this. Did you hear this? Did you hear that? Did you see what they did? Did you see what she did? Did you hear what they said? Because what happens is that's just stirs strife. And when you stir strife, you know, it's like jumping into a pool with piranhas, man. Everyone's looking to get a bite of the flesh. I don't even know where that came from.
And can we all do that? Like I think we all do that. We all do that. It's like, it's about like seeing when it rises up that you want to do that. And then just saying, asking yourself in that moment, is this worth the breath I'm about to like use to say it? Like, is it even worth saying this? You know, sometimes I've called you to stir up strife and you're like, really? You cut me off. I'm like, I needed to hear that. I needed to, and I've done it the other way too.
Stop yeah. But isn't it the human nature? The human nature, man. And I think I'm going to be honest with you. And I think most of that comes because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're not taking the steps that we said we were going to take. And we see other people taking the steps and it offends us. And it offends us because, listen, I'm going to tell. So I ran into my girlfriend tonight, right? she is thebomb.com. She's like one of my spiritual mentors. Her and her husband are just phenomenal people. And I ran into her at the grocery store tonight, and we ended up talking for like, we talked for like 45 minutes. And she made a statement, and I don't know the exact words, but basically I was telling her about something. And she said, usually what's offending you, right, from someone else is what God's trying to show in yourself. I was like, oh my gosh. That right there is so freaking powerful. Think about that.
That's so true. That's so true.
It just punched me right in the gut.
That's so true.
And she knows me so good. So the stuff that she told me tonight, man, she almost had me crying again in the grocery store.
That is so true. And what Crystal said here is true too, that she's proud of, to say that 2020 really it helped her the real. But that's so true, because I'm nice and everything, but I could get easily annoyed. And I used to work with someone that, oh God, she annoyed me every day. Even just hearing her start talking, I was already predisposed to being like, oh, here it comes. But you know what? She was just like me. But she was just like an older version of me. So I would be like, it got to the point where I would start saying, you know what? I already got past that. Like, don't bring that to me. I already learned that I not to talk or think that way. Like, I couldn't even resist hearing it. It was so bad, but it's true. But maybe there's a part of me that was still, maybe something about that was still bothering me, because I would just hear her coming in my direction, and I would be like, oh God, don't let her talk. Please don't let her say anything. And if I was like not in a good mood or stressed, I'd be like, God, don't let her talk. And God, if she does talk, don't let me talk, because who knows what's going to come out of my mouth.
I told you about, there's a guy at work, whenever he's coming, everyone tries to get out of the way, and it's because, whenever he shows up, it's, and nobody wants to be around that. And a lot of it is because everybody, what does the great Les Brown say? You tell your problem, 80% of the people don't care, and the other 20% glad it's you. I love that. It's the best, because it's so true. I mean, have you ever been talking to somebody and you realize you're talking too long because you can just see in their face, they're inside, they're like, shut the hell up.
No, that doesn't happen to me with anybody except for you. Like, when I'm talking on this live, that you're like, are you done? And I'm like,
I never said nothing like that. Look, now you broke my train of thought again. I had a great thought, and it just got. What's up, Coach Toy? Coach Toy's in the house.
Hey, Toy. I was on her Clubhouse thingy yesterday. It was so good. Crystal's making me laugh because she said Sarai strapping on her boxing gloves at work. Crystal, that's where I learned it from.
You see how she was punching with her wrist all bent? She'd break her wrist punching like that.
Oh, I went like this, and my elbow cracked.
See, that's what happens, man.
That's what happens when what?
What
are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I wasn't trying to say nothing.
Guys, did you hear that? Did you hear that undercut? Like, for real.
That was an undercut. It was called an uppercut. What's an undercut?
An uppercut is an undercut.
No, I've never heard anybody call it an undercut.
I just make things up as I go. You know how
we know that. We know that. Half the stuff you say.
There's Sarai words too.
You don't have you can't. There's only Ray words.
Well, I got Cuban words. I just bother you because you always.
Oh my gosh. You are a trip.
Look, even Crystal's laughing at me.
So what like, I had this train of thought, and it just was like a bloom. Like, just
that's because you're not getting enough sleep. You need to get on that defensive mode and start getting.
I do need sleep. You're right. I absolutely do need sleep. Guys,
Courtney,
sleep more.
I wonder why Courtney's saying wow. Hey guys, so if you guys just jumped in, that's a hairstyle. Oh,
the undercut. Oh my gosh.
Where does Courtney live? What area of the world does he?
I think Courtney is in he's from Pittsburgh, And I don't believe he's there. I believe he's up in the Harrisburg area or somewhere around there. If I'm not, how much sleep am I getting? Well, Sarai usually goes to bed at like 3 or 4 in the morning and sleeps till like 9. I go to bed at like 1 in the morning and wake up at 4:30. I know
No,
it's not
I
good.
go to sleep like at 2, 1 or 2.
Yeah, I'm only getting about 3.5, 4 hours tops. I'm not doing too well, but it's that's one of my alignments. That's one of my alignments is to get more sleep. But so yeah, because my when you don't sleep well, focusing can really be difficult.
I got a better question. Why did Courtney ask how much sleep you and I are getting? What are we doing to make him ask that? That's what I want to know.
Oh, we're probably acting like a bunch of senile old people.
No, we're not. We're having good conversation.
No, that's right. Because Courtney just said it. I remember Courtney says he struggles with sleep too. We talked about that last time. He said he tries to get 7 or 8. You probably only get about 5, don't you? Thank you, Coach Toy. Courtney probably only gets sleep is good. Sarah, get out of here.
All right, guys. So we it's what time is it right now? 9 something.
It's 9:08.
9:08. So we were talking about which we started off talking about living on the defense or the offense. And
got off track real fast.
You convinced me. We do need some defense, which is that self-care, that sleep, that eating right. What else? We need all of that. We need all of that for sure.
So my question is I want you guys make a comment, like 1 for yes, 2 for no. How many of you guys, and be honest, how many of you guys actually have a daily morning routine that you follow 80% of the time?
So what? 1 is what? Yes.
1 is yes, 2 is no. I should just put an in or a Y. I'm not good at this stuff.
I think we all have a daily morning routine. The question is it a productive one? Because if your morning routine is what, you know what I'm saying? Like we all have one. We all do a daily morning routine, but how productive is it? I like what you were saying that, but successful people start with them first. You gotta feel like
they start with them first. They start with them first. And I love it because it's I mean, I'm listening to people who are running 9-figure businesses. I mean, 100, 250, $500 million, businesses. I mean, that's pretty intense to see and hear that they still get up the same way that they did when they started. They've built that habit.
Well, Courtney's the only one that answered, but he didn't follow.
He's the only one.
He's the only one that answered, but he didn't. Instead of putting a 1 or a 2, he put a Y. And I was like, what does he mean why? But
yes.
Now Crystal is saying why also.
She's saying I'll yoke you up.
My 3-year-old daughter dominates my yes, we understand that 100%. 100%.
I dominates my schedule, bothering me all the time, calling me late night because she's up.
Who?
You. I know there was no Al in here. I didn't hear no Al. Did you know there was an Al here?
I'm like, who? Sometimes.
Rhonda said that she's doing Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I hope I'm saying that.
I want to know. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look that up. Sarah's funny.
And your internet really was not really good tonight.
When?
Tonight, like all through the thing. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't on my end. You kept breaking up, like freezing. So there would be some frames where you'd be like this.
Oh, no, really? That is messed up. You should have taken a picture of that and sent it to me.
I don't think that fast. Oh my God.
Let's do some close.
When you guys talk about kids messing your schedules up, I had 4 kids, so I don't feel bad for you guys. No offense. I went through my time. I don't feel bad for you at all. I'm glad it's happening to you and not me now.
I know, right? Doesn't that always feel like an old, faraway nightmare? Like a terrible time? Like everybody has to feel like, oh, I remember that time.
I remember when we had my son, and So my oldest daughter, well, because of her disability, she always slept with us because we were so worried because of her seizure disorder. But then we had my son, and my son was like this chunky kid, like he was huge. So then it was me and my ex-wife, and then my daughter and my son. And I got a picture. My daughter's laying sideways. My son's like flop like this. I got a foot in my nose. Like I was like, so I started sleeping on the couch. So I know it sounds terrible, but I didn't have my own bed. Like literally, guys, I didn't have my own bed in my own room until I got divorced. I know it sounds horrible, but the first thing I did when I got my new,
do I have permission to make a bad joke about you?
Sure.
I was gonna say, no wonder you're divorced. You weren't even sleeping in the same bed. Come on, guys.
Who can sleep? Listen.
Do some happy, some. No, I was gonna say happy faces. I'm doing this right now with a migraine. That's why I'm looking all drunk. I'm going like this because I have a migraine.
Don't believe her. It's because she is drunk.
No, I'm not even a drinker.
You're not a thinker. I knew that.
Oh, drinker.
Okay.
Courtney's laughing. Courtney's laughing. Thank you, Courtney, for laughing along with me.
Yes. So I know Sarai's got some work to do tonight. So we can get ready to wrap this up. Do you got any closing thoughts or questions or ideas or maybe what's your morning routine look like?
Me?
No, Thomas.
My morning routine. Well, I get up. I don't do it that well sometimes,
Well, usually when people get up, like their morning routine, the first thing they do is get up.
I wake up, my eyes open, and I lay there for another 20 minutes. And in those 20 minutes, I get on, what do you call it? What is it called? YouVersion? So
this is what I'm going to recommend already. This is what I'm going to recommend. It's great.
I don't do it well, to be honest.
But don't do it on your phone. You really need a physical. If you're going to get into the Word of God, you should do a physical Bible.
That's hard for me.
It's totally. I'm telling you, you'll fall in love with it. You'll fall in love.
Sit up. That's the problem. Then I have to sit up. I'm not kidding. That's the truth. I gotta sit up. I don't want to play down like this.
Oh my gosh! I cannot.
I got used to doing this for like so many years. I just read.
Did you guys just hear her? She said I would have to sit up.
I don't know if you've looked at the comments, but they're all laughing. It's just all.
I know. We stopped being serious 15 minutes ago. We probably should have just canceled.
Now you guys hear now you guys are watching us talk like the way it normally is when you guys are not around.
See, even Rhonda. See, Rhonda said yes, physical Bible. I'm telling you right now, if you could add that, I promise you, like I would not lie to you. If you could promise you, if I could promise, like if you woke up and maybe you just sat there and you really just maybe did some like morning gratitude where you just kind of went through your I am statements and what you're grateful for. And then when you got out of bed, go get your tea, because I know you don't drink coffee. Go get your tea.
You're crazy.
What? Go get your tea. Go get your tea or whatever it is, and then sit down and open the Word. I'm telling you, there's nothing more intimate. I'm just being honest for me. And a lot of people that I talk to, especially when I coach them, and they're looking for a spiritual awakening. And as I tell them, that intimate time in the morning when it's quiet, when no one's around, it's just you and the Word, it just hits you a little bit differently. So it's definitely something that I recommend that everybody do. If you don't do it, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'll try it for about a week, and then I'll report back to you and Rhonda and Courtney, because all three of you are saying it. And then I'll report back and let you guys know, Hey, guys, I'm going to say one last funny thing before I get off. So let's see if you guys can see this. So do you guys see this? Look, you see this right here? So while I'm sitting like this, the whole time, I thought that was my hair. And I was going like this. And I was like, why does my hair like not? Why is it sticking up? But
Hey,
it was
Courtney, do you see why she needs sleep?
the whole time. So I'm like this. I'm like, why does that keep happening?
Yes, Rhonda. Rhonda says she's holding you to that. I'm holding her to that too. We're gonna see how it goes. So,
But I
I
do
got
have
this.
a physical Bible.
Hey, Rhonda, I got this brand new beautiful Bible that somebody gave me for my birthday. It's the John Maxwell Leadership Bible. It is absolutely powerful.
Have you been reading it?
Yeah. You kidding me? And I even put all my IMs. So every morning when I wake up, I got no choice but to read my IM statements too.
So, who gave you that?
You.
I sent that to him for his birthday, guys, because I knew he loved leadership and I knew he loved the Bible, and that was a perfect combo. Is it good?
I love it. It's absolutely good. John Maxwell is a
Hey, I ordered that book, and when I looked at it, I almost didn't send it to you. I was like, like it's mine. Actually, I'm gonna buy that one. I'm gonna buy that one.
I got another one I keep right next to it, and this is the Charles Stanley Life Principle Bible. And Charles Stanley is a phenomenal pastor that's really underrated, that a lot of people don't know about. But if you really get a chance, this Charles Stanley Life Principle Bible is pretty powerful.
I heard that one. You told me about that. I already got that one, but on my phone.
Okay, so that's the one you got. Oh, that's the one you got on your phone. Yes, it's super freaking awesome.
Yeah, I got on my phone.
So just to let you guys know, so I have two. I got. I don't know, but I got two Bibles that sit on my desk in my office. I got an NIV that's in my car, and then I got an NLT that's in my desk or my nightstand in my room. So wherever I go, wherever I am, I know where to turn. So that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
So also, you want to know what I started to in January? So in my office, I started reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad again, right? So my goal is to read this month. And then in the nightstand, so in the morning time, after I read a couple pages of this before I leave in the morning. And then in the evening, I started reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So before I go to bed, I read a couple pages of that. And then when I'm at work, I'm rereading Grant Cardone's 10X. So that's given me 3 great reads, impactful reads that have transformed many lives in one day. Now think about that habit. Think about what that can do for you in 21 days, right? In 30 days, in 45 days, right? So my goal is I want to try to read 3 books a month is really what my goal is this year.
Those are the books you just mentioned are such great books to read in January. Like, I think January is like, you need that like to take you there. But it's been awesome tonight. I just have a migraine, guys. Like, I'm starting.
We're gonna wrap it up.
I look like a bit of a mess.
Hey, Rhonda, look. Sarai bought me this book too, Rhonda.
That's an awesome book. It's been one of my.
Rhonda's reading it right now.
Guys, that's one of my favorite all-time books.
I got so much reading to do. It's time to get down. So anyways, guys, thank you for dealing with us for an hour. We always appreciate you guys. We love you. We hope you're having a great new year. If any of you need to reach out, if any of you need any help, service, right? If you want to do some collaboration, if you know somebody who needs help, if you know somebody who's trying to start a business, if you know somebody who's looking for something, send them our way. This is a year of alignment, man. And it's all about like, how many people can I serve? How many people, how many people can we help? So just keep that in the back of your mind. But with that, I'm going to sign off. You guys are loved. You are worthy. Let's go out and let's kick the rest of this week's booty.
See you all next week. I was going to say next year. Next week, guys. Bye.